In this video, I'm going to show you how to safely pop your pelvis at home. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over different pelvic self-mobilization exercises that might give you that satisfying pop, crack, or snap that you're looking for. The great part is you can do them all at home, possibly even at work. They don't require any special equipment, and you may find that gives lower back, hip, and pelvic tightness and pain relief in as little as 30 seconds. As a note, I do not want you to confuse these with a professional chiropractic adjustment. These are not an adjustment. Instead, they're just stretches and exercises that are going to put more range of motion across the lower back, pelvis, and hips that might result in that satisfying pop, crack, or snap that you're looking for. So with that being said, let's get started with it and self-mobilize the pelvis right now. So for these exercises to be effective, we have to have a great contact point. This is how we're going to find it. Let's take two fingers, go to the lower back, right near the belt line, and find two large mounds in the lower back. They should be near the dimples of the lower back. From there, I'm going to trace down and over just a little bit. This should be near the vicinity of the SI joints or sacroiliac joints. How we know we're in the right spot is just bend forward and then move or twist towards one side. You should feel a lot of motion into that large joint. So from there, once we found those SI joints, I'm going to take the palm right here, especially the meaty portion, and place it right over that SI joint. From there, I'm just going to go up a little bit and then over. Let's go back into that forward position and twist. When you do this, it should feel like you have a lot of motion in there, but it's also very stable once you're able to put pressure right there. So this will be our contact point. So this first way to self-mobilize the pelvis is one of my favorites because you can pretty much do it anytime, including in the middle of the night. We're going to do this at the edge of a bed. It's also going to be shown in 3 parts, so make sure to go through all 3 parts and do the one that you feel is the most effective for you. Whatever leg is closest to the edge of the bed, let's take that one and go completely straight with it at the knee. The other leg is going to go bent at 90 degrees at the knee. What I'm going to do is the hand that is closest to the edge of the bed, let's grab on the outside of the bent knee. From there, I'm just going to take this knee and go across the edge of the bed to build rotation into the lower back. We want to keep our upper body flat for this one. Just keep going down as much as you can. From there, I'm going to take the other hand and I'm going to straighten it and then rotate my head and upper body towards the opposite direction while I'm pulling down at the knee. This is a great corkscrew stretch. It opens up the back a ton. You might feel that immediate pop or crack that you're looking for, and if that is the case, you're good to go. But if you need to do a couple repetitions, do it. Just hold this for about 10 to 15 seconds, and with each repetition, go a little bit further with it because it's going to put more motion into the back, and you might find that it finally gets it to release. For the second part, what I'm going to do to target a little bit more across the pelvis is to anchor my foot down like this instead. So the straight leg, I'm going to put my foot of the bent knee underneath that, anchor it down so it's very, very stable. Let's take the hand, go on the opposite side of the knee, and then just rotate it very similar to what we did with that first exercise. When you do this, it builds a lot of motion across the SI joint. You might feel there's a lot of tension. Just keep going as far as you're able to comfortably. From there, you can then rotate towards the opposite side to intensify that stretch. If you need to, do a couple repetitions of holding for 10 to 15 seconds, build into the motion, and hopefully you'll get that self-release, pop or crack that you are looking for. So if you weren't able to get the pelvis to self-release in those first 2 parts, this is how we can take the exercise to the next level. Let's go back to the edge of the bed and go into that same position that we did with the second exercise. So we're going to anchor that foot down, and then at that point I'm going to take the hand and go on the outside of the knee. Let's take this leg and rotate it off the side of the bed as much as we're able to build initial tension into the lower back and across the pelvis. This time around, I'm going to take the palm right here and go over that contact point that we mentioned earlier in the video. So initially, what I want to do is press into this to create a lot of tension. The movement is very simple. While we have pressure being placed into this hand, I'm going to take the hand that's on the knee right here and go downwards with it. So it should be a nice fluid motion of pressing and going down with the knee at the same time. So let me set it up and show you. I don't know if you heard it, but I got a pretty good release right there. Again, we're going and building initial tension, which is very important, pressing into it, pulling down at the same time to open up the pelvis just a little bit more to hopefully give you that satisfying pop or crack that you're looking for. So here's how to do that corkscrew stretch standing, so you can pretty much do it anywhere, including at work. Let's go next to a wall. What I'm going to do is place my body flush against it. Let's also raise one leg up. Knee is going to be bent at 90 degrees. The knee and the hip are going to be in a nice straight line. I'm going to take one hand and place it on the outside of the other side's knee. So my left hand is grabbing on the outside of my right knee. Let's take this knee and then rotate it across our body as much as we can. When we do this, it's going to open up the lower back, and hopefully you will get that immediate pop or crack that you're looking for. But we can also build into that corkscrew stretch by taking our upper body and twisting it like this towards the other way. We'll also want to look in that direction. Keep going with this stretch as far as you feel comfortable, and hopefully you will get that pop. But you can hold this position for up to 15 seconds. You can relax and then do 5 repetitions. With each repetition, try to go a little bit further with it, because the more that you take that leg over, the more it's going to open up that lower back and hopefully get it to self-release. We can also do a self-thrust in there to put a little bit more into that SI joint. So let's get back into that position. I'm going to bring that leg completely over, and I'm going to take the hand this time and go over that contact point that we talked about earlier in the video. It's going to be a nice fluid motion. We're going to build initial tension in there by pressing into that SI joint, and then I'm going to bring the leg over and press into it just like this. So I'm getting back into position, and the movement is just quick like that, and hopefully that will get it to open up and give you that self-pop. So here's a very simple and effective way to open up the SI joints in the pelvis while seated. We're going to start in a nice sturdy chair, one without wheels. Let's also make sure that we have very good posture. The knees and the hips are going to be in a nice straight line. Our knees are going to be bent at 90 degrees. I'm going to take the palms right here and place them on the outside of the knees, and we're going to do an isometric exercise. I'm going to drive the knees outwards while I resist against it with my hands. And when you do this, the knee should really not move at all because of those canceling forces. So let me do this. I'm just going to press into my hands right here and hold for 5 seconds. I'm going to then relax, and then I'm going to do this for 5 complete repetitions. How we're going to get those SI joints in the pelvis to open up is with this next part. Let's take our hands, we're going to place them together like this with our fists and place them inside of the knees. We're going to do the opposite this time. We're going to drive the knees together while resisting against it with our fist. And when you do this, you'll actually probably get a pop immediately into that SI joint, and you're good to go. But you can do this right here for 5-second holds, relaxing, and then doing it for 5 repetitions. Even if you don't get that immediate loud pop in there, what you'll notice is that it helps open up the SI joints and across the pelvis, so when you stand up, you just feel a lot more loose, and hopefully you'll be able to do a lot more daily activities with less issues. So here's another great exercise that we can do that will target those SI joints to hopefully self-mobilize them. We can do this one at the edge of a bed. So let's start off by taking one leg and placing it over the edge of the bed at 90 degrees. The other knee is also going to go at 90 degrees bent like this. The motion is very simple. I'm going to take this bent knee right here, take its foot and the toes, and bend them inwards into internal rotation. The second part, what I'm going to focus on, is taking this knee 45 degrees towards the opposite shoulder. But I'm going to take the other side's hand, place it inside the knee, and resist this motion like an isometric exercise. So I'm taking my right hand, placing it on the inside of my left knee. My left knee is then going to drive towards that shoulder while I resist against it with this hand. You might get an immediate pop or crack into the SI joint, and if that's the case, you're good to go. But you can hold this position for up to 5 seconds, relax, and then repeat up to 5 times. From there, the second part is going to be taking this bent knee, but we're going to take the foot outwards into external rotation this time around, and we're going to take the same side's hand and go on the outside of the knee. So my left hand is on the outside of my left knee. I'm trying to then take this knee outwards and resist against it with this hand right here. It's going to hit the SI joint just a little bit different, a little bit of a different motion, and again, you might find that it gives you an immediate pop or crack. If not, do 5-second holds for 5 repetitions, and if anything, you'll notice when you stand up that you might have a lot more range of motion, less tightness around the pelvis and into the SI joint. If you liked the video and got a lot of relief, please show us your support by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to our channel too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.